Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Spoilers ahead. I beg you to please go into this game as blind as possible. It will infinitely enhance your experience. But if you do want my quick spoiler-free thoughts before you go, well, thank you for caring so much about my opinion, and this may be my new favorite Metroid. Or at least it's making Super Metroid sweat. Alright then, if you're still here, get ready to be spoiled, or at least be ready to watch whatever my videos are garbage. But let's get a quick recap of our last Metroid excursion. Previously on Metroid.
Johnson, quickly, give me a blowtorch, peanut butter, chainsaw, or anything. I have no clue how to deal with infected bird suits.
What a coincidence.
Are the scientists packing heat?
An imposter. Venting. Suspicious activity. Dead crewmates all on a space station and we're about to get ejected?
Is this an Among Us ref?
Well, that wasn't all that great of a recap at all. Oh well, Dread got me covered anyway. Let's start with that story. A while after the incident at the BSL, a video of an X-Parasite was sent to the Federation. The Federation, realizing the video was real, quickly mobilized a team of Emmys, basically semi-invincible science bots, to the planet ZDR from the video to investigate. After almost instantly losing signal from the Emmys after landing on the planet, the Federation hires Samus Aran to go check in on the situation, since she's the only person in the galaxy immune to the parasite. Adam, basically her AI boyfriend, is not happy about this mission as it is way too dangerous for how little she's getting paid. But you know, maybe doing this mission was able to keep Samus from getting sued after the BSL stuff. Was she even sued for the BSL stuff? I thought that was something in the ending. Whatever. But you know Samus, if the galaxy is at stake, she'll take the job anyway. Is that the robot from Nintendo Land? After landing on the planet, Samus soon encounters a Chozo-looking guy who absolutely trounces our heroine. I mean, she gets a few shots in and I applaud her for keeping most of her power-ups from fusion, but seriously, if you would just keep all of it, you probably would have beat him, but no. The Chozo takes her powers and he leaves her alive. Well, Samus hooks up with Adam. No, not like that. At least this time. Where he informs her that she needs to head to the surface to make her escape, and her powers are gone this time because of physical amnesia. Okay, sure, why not? Along the way, she'll encounter the Emmys, who straight up cannot be damaged by any of her usual weapons, and they can kill Samus almost instantly. If she doesn't counter at the right moment, that is. They're pretty much what the SAX was supposed to be, but lucky for Samus, they are confined to these specific zones and... Why would research robots meant to explore around the planet be confined to these specific areas? Better yet, why are they located with these mini mother brains that can give Samus a mini hyper beam? The only thing that can break these things— ooh, are those 3D Ringas? After some exploration, Samus meets up with another Chozo who explains a lot of what's going on here. Basically, tall, dark, and deadly here is called Dread Raven, and he's the head honcho of a tribe of Chozo who want to control the Metroid. The Chozo we're speaking to now, aka Quiet Robe, was kidnapped by Dread Raven to help in his plans. Dread Raven was also the one who sent that video to the Federation, because he wanted to lure Samus to ZDR since she's the only source of Metroid DNA left in the universe, and he wants to extract it from her. This plot is genius. Well, after spoiling the fun, Quiet Robe is shot for his troubles, and now Samus must make her way to the surface, not just to escape, but to stop Dread Raven. Eventually, she makes her way to his little ship in the sky, and here we find out that the Adam who was directing us after we landed on the planet was not Adam, but Dread Raven in disguise. Which I love, because throughout the game I was wondering why he wasn't calling Samus Lady at all, or doing that little catchphrase, you know? And Dread either didn't know about it or just didn't care to perfect his mimicry. Dread decides to just come clean to Samus. He doesn't care about the Metroid DNA in Samus anymore. He just wants her DNA in general. He's been testing Samus through the guise of Adam throughout this whole game, and he was the one who set up the Emmy zones with the mini hyper beams. In fact, I bet he discovered the Emmy's weakness by blasting one of them with his hyper beam. Which explains what happened to the first one, because they're supposed to be invincible. Dread Raven has been studying every step Samus has taken on ZDR. The Metroids of old do not deserve that title. To him, Samus herself is the true Metroid, and he wants to clone an army of her to take over, just like the Federation wanted the power of the SAX last time. Samus Aran has the perfect mixture of DNA to be the greatest warrior, and we even find out that Dread Raven implanted his own DNA into Samus at one point in the past, which completely unfazes Samus because at this point she has more DNA in her than a galactic sperm. But no, not like that. Get your head out of the gutter. He also calls her his daughter, which again completely unfazes her because she has so many daddy. You know what? Maybe I'm the problem. Well, after a seriously cool fight, although that middle section goes on a little too long, Samus is on the ropes until... Throughout the game, Samus has had a flash of some sort of power, a sort of instinct she's been trying to ignore, but now... Oh, yes. What? I gave a spoiler warning. Samus taps into all of her Metroid instincts, transforming her suit into this awesome mix of Metroid biology and Chozo science. Well, actually, both are just Chozo science. After giving Dread Raven a good thrashing, they both fall to the surface where Dread gets infected with an X-parasite, mutating him into an invincible monster. I love this game. The planet is rigged to blow. I don't know when or how, but it's going to explode, basically. And now Samus has to make her escape. But she's too drugged up on that Metroid power, and if she activates the ship like this, she just absorb it. Luckily, Quiet Robe appears, and after his death, he was infected by the X, but he found a way to keep control of his body. Why did he reactivate the Immies after deactivating them earlier? I don't know. Maybe he knew that was the only way Samus could regain her lost abilities? Or at least some of them? Well, whatever. Quiet Robe transforms his body into an X-parasite, and by absorbing this X, it calms Samus down enough to fly away from the explosion. Don't know why that X can do that to her, but I really don't care, to be honest. And that's the story of Metroid Dread. I honestly think it's fantastic. The way it calls back to other events in the series and the plot itself, it's just all genius. I love this story, it's just so good. However, I can't help but notice we lost something from Fusion. Samus's little monologues. We don't really get to see her really question everything about this mission, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's not like we don't get any sense of how she feels. Samus is very well animated in this game, and she has seen it all by this point. So watching her be so casual but still so cool in this cutscenes is incredible. She has this confidence to her, which she's absolutely earned. However, maybe some text would have been nice, for the elevators and trains. I mean, the loading doesn't take forever, but it's long enough to feel like, you could have thrown a bit of text in as the player and Samus waits. Maybe like a little bit of a, I wonder why Adam is acting so strange, or if that loser pterodactyl shows up on this planet, I'm gonna stream, or I wonder how Anthony's doing. Ain't seen him in a while. I know having it this way would spoil something like Dread Raven being the fake Adam, but I don't know, man. Would have been cool, I guess. That's just a nitpick, which most of my problems with this game are just nitpicks. Mercury Steam just did a fantastic job with this game. But to be honest, leading up to release and through my first playthrough, I was unsure about the gameplay. Seeing the counter return in the first trailer and remembering how much that slowed Samus Return's combat down, and then in my first playthrough I thought the game was too linear. I felt the game was hand-holding me, and the link-ups with Fake Adam really set this in stone in my mind. I thought this game was great, but it had some issues. Then I decided to look up sequence breaks in Dread, and it opened the floodgates. I was doing my best to not look at anything Dread related since the first trailer, so I was completely unaware of most of this till I beat the game. There's so much, and I saw online that, some people got lost and even missed some of the upgrades but still beat the game. Like, what? That's incredible! And to be fair to my first playthrough self, the reason it can feel linear is because how naturally this game flows Samus to where she needs to go perfectly, which is not a bad thing. It helps keep track of where the player should go without chaining them to a path. You can do what you want, but the game at least gives you a nudge in case you need it, which is perfect, masterful design. And that's everything I want to see in a Metroid game. And after learning a few of those sequence breaks, my mind has expanded. I can even get a little lost now, which is a good thing, because I'm breaking it, baby. And the counter, don't even worry about it. It is 100 times better in this game, and you can even use it while on the move. This game is incredible. There is a lot of creativity, and there's even a special way of killing a certain boss through sequence breaking that I was sadly spoiled to. Not the sequence breaking to kill the boss, but the boss itself, so I'm not going to spoil that boss. I'm not going to do that to you. It's not Ridley, if you're wondering. They gave him his best boss fight in the series in Samus Returns, so good on them for giving him a break. Hopefully, he's definitely not gone for good. Poor Samus, man. But all in all, the gameplay is fantastic. It's everything I want in a Metroid. However, I do have some nitpicks. Well, I know I said they're all nitpicks, but some of these are kind of genuine problems. For one, maybe we could have made it so that some of the upgrades were more optional. I know some people miss some of this stuff, but maybe the cross bomb and wave beam could have been more out of the way. Or maybe don't have that Adam cutscene explain the camo when you already have a perfectly good cutscene that does that. D-pad would have been nice to use, but I understand why we couldn't use it. Or how about only one pop-up for the Omega Beam? Oh, and the ability to skip all cutscenes and fake Adam conversations would be nice. Well, you can skip most of the cutscenes. Unless it's like your first playthrough, which I can understand why, but you know, if you turn the game off, then you can't. Listen, just make it so you can skip any and all cutscenes and conversations, alright? That's all I'm gonna say. And man, oh man, is it good that people have found a way to get the gravity suit earlier? Because at the pace you're sort of led to go, they make you dying for that stupid thing. It is ridiculous. And once you finally get it, all those stupid water sections are pretty much over. Thanks for that. Oh, and the difficulty of this game. I think it's perfectly fine. A bit challenging, but not too bad. Do we really need to fight these guys so many times, though? I mean, genuinely, these robot guys are the worst, and you fight like 6 of them, with 2 of the fights being 2v1s. And I lost track of how many times you just fight these weird Chozo staff guys. I mean, they're both fun encounters, and maybe a little aggravating at first, but they just kept showing up, sometimes back to back. Like, why? If you want to show off Samus's progress, make it like 2 fights, not like 6 or something. And the camera does not want to handle 2 of these things at once. And yes, these guys start trying new moves and a shield, which is cool, but you fight so many that the shield spit guys, it kind of just loses its luster in its entirety, you know? And that stupid red move has the worst hitbox of all time. I never know if it's going to hit me or not. It is terrible. Oh, and the Emmys, they are so mixed for me. I mean, they're cool, but they're just so... they just slow down the pace a lot. And they really just take a chainsaw to my nerves, like this one, where it can like see through the walls and you're running away through this slow, stupid water. I mean, I get they want to play around with, you know, with the order of power-ups in this game, and that was interesting with the morph ball and slide dynamic, but when you have to give me 2 jump upgrades just to make up for the gravity suit, just give me the stupid suit already, guys. And to get away from this Emmy, I had to counter it 3 times in a row. Like, the game said you should save that as a last resort, but man, it feels like the only option sometimes. I am so glad they couldn't do this with the SAX. That would have sucked. Then on the other hand, having something like the Emmy is interesting and a nice break from the usual gameplay. It's not scary, it's just plain annoying, but it is different, and I can and will give credit for that. Of course, maybe this thing is scary, and I'm just one of those people that as soon as something becomes annoying, it's just plain annoying, not really scary. The Emmy isn't Mr. X is what I'm trying to say. What else is there to talk about? Oh yeah, how about hard mode? I haven't beaten it for myself yet, although I did get close. But as soon as I realized the ending rewards only stick to 1 save, I stopped. Because I wanted to see if I can get them all on 1. But I did play through most of the game on hard, and yep, it's pretty much Dread, but harder. I think the normal difficulty is good enough. You know, it's a good enough challenge on its own, but I probably will try hard mode again. And in fact, as I'm recording this, I'm actually playing through hard mode again, so who knows, maybe I'll beat it this time. Will I get all the ending rewards? Probably not, I don't know. And that goes triple for the collection rewards. The rewards are all just really cool looking artwork, I'm pretty sure. I'm happy to see the amiibos didn't lock anything away this time. That's amazing. Oh, and Aeon abilities are back. And pretty much just like the counter, they're like 100 times better than they were in Samus Returns, so that's a great thing. You know, I was unsure about this art style for Dread. It didn't really ever click for me till the end where I was like, yeah, they probably couldn't have done all they wanted to without using this style. So it's definitely grown on me, but I wasn't too sure when I first saw it. Oh, and don't worry, this game does not skip on the detail. The details in this game are fantastic. You know, the $60 price tag has gotten some criticism, and although I think Dread is well worth $60, I'm glad to see price tags get some criticism, because it looks like Nintendo is just going to keep overpricing stuff. $50. It was never even worth $20. Oh, and the voice acting? That's nice. Too bad we technically didn't get any interaction between Samus and the real Adam, but for the sake of a good twist, I'll live with it. But I guess that's all I wanted to say. Metroid Dread is fantastic and has been well worth the wait. But that's not me saying you can go back into hibernation, Miss Aaron. Your adventures are fantastic and I don't want to wait another 15-16 years. I know Prime 4 is coming, but I want, so much more in the future. And hey, why limit it to Mercury Steam and Retro? Not saying I want them to take a break, I want to see more Metroids from them, but let's get some other teams on this. I'd love to see new takes on Metroid. But with all that being said, I'm so happy my expectations were blown out of the water. If you haven't played Dread, I strongly recommend it. It's everything and more I wanted in a new Metroid. Though, I'm not sure if it beats Super for me yet. I may have to sit on that for a while longer. But it's definitely close and I'm so happy it is. Come on, 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 come on. No! Okay, just try to fall and just, yes! No! I love this game.